Hello, everyone. Welcome to Telling Tales. Tonight on Twitch, we're going to bring you some Coriolis, which we do every Wednesday at the moment. And we make atmospheric tabletop role-playing streams and show them to you here on Twitch by the magic of our own technology. We created Twitch. No one else did. It's just taken us a good few years to decide to actually, what to do with it. In the meantime, we let some other people do stuff with it, but, whatever. Before we go any further into promo and role-playing sessions and further lies, I'm going to bring on our stream manager, John, who tinkers away in the background, moving around pictures and just moving around pictures. That's what John does. Yeah, handling chats and rules queries and stuff like that. Hi, John.
Hi, Matt.
Is it clear from the outrageous lies that I started this stream with that I'm quite ready for my streaming week to end this week, actually?
You sound like you're ready for a weekend on Wednesday.
A figurative weekend. Yeah, I'm quite tired. But it's going to be a good one. It's going to be a good session. Thank you to John. He'll now vanish into the stream manager underbrush, where other people are not allowed to go and see them in their secret hidden places. Hi. So let's do some promo. Down below, you'll find some links. There's links to Twitch and to YouTube. You're watching on one, why not check out the other? In particular, if you are watching on Twitch, our YouTube has what is probably now hundreds of videos from all of our roleplay streams over the last, nearly a year now. So check those out. We've got links to our social media, like Twitter and Instagram and Facebook. We've got links to our Discord where you can join up and talk to us about all things Telling Tales, all things role-playing, and we've got links to our Patreon where you can go and support us in exchange for some lovely rewards. Also, we run 3 weekly streams here on Twitch, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Each time we start at 8 o'clock in the evening BST. Mondays is Call of Cthulhu, run by Johnny. Tuesdays is Blades in the Dark, run by myself, and Wednesday is Coriolis, run by myself, which is this. We also run monthly one-shots on the first Saturday of every month. There's a bunch of them in VOD form over on our YouTube, Alien and Troika and Mortborg and Fiasco and The Expanse. And this Saturday there is the next one, which is the charming Honey Heist, which will be run by Johnny. Honey Heist is a micro RPG, a one-page RPG. There we go, lovely, which features bears, some of whom have hats, infiltrating Honeycon in order to carry out the titular Honey Heist. As that might suggest, it's going to be very dark and gritty, atmospheric. So, just make sure you're prepared for it. You're girded in every way. I'm joking. It's going to be whimsical and hilarious. So check that out this Saturday at 3 o'clock BST. 3 o'clock in the afternoon BST. Also, we're currently running fortnightly a Simbroom series over on the Free League Twitch. But it's worth pointing out, it would have normally been this Sunday that the next episode, I think the 4th or the 5th episode, would have been streamed on Sunday afternoon. But we're actually taking a break, and that Simbroom series on the Free League channel won't be picking up again until Sunday, the 18th of July. So if you're a rabid follower of it, apologies, life has gotten in the way and we're just having to take a wee delay with that. So we'll be back with you before you know it, I'm sure. That's all my promo done. Too much promo, as per usual. So let's start bringing on the players and talking about what happened last week on Coriolis. So the story so far roughly is that our players were hired on as deckhands or deckhand associates on a ship which promptly managed to crash in the middle of nowhere in the wilderness, the savannah-like wilderness of a planet. And they've been just struggling to survive all over the place. And let's bring on Sam, who plays Adam, a wandering individual who seems to have some kind of secret / dark ability lurking within his past. And how did the scavenging go at the beginning of last session? So,
quite well. We went out to like some metallic objects. We weren't quite sure what they were upon heading out, but once we arrived, we realized it was a crashed spaceship, which is worrying considering we're also a crashed spaceship, and it seems very unlikely to us that there will be 2 crashed spaceships in this place through pure coincidence. So that was one thing. We decided to take a look around, try and scavenge what we could. We went to the cryo pods. They were all empty. Hamza discovered that something had kind of torn its way into these cryopods. He didn't reveal that just yet, but he said they were all empty. So no signs of life. We kind of figured out that the ship had been there a year or less, a cycle or less in Coriolis terms. And then we tried to get what we could. Adam found 1 ration of food and 1 walkie-talkie. Hamza fortunately found the other walkie-talkie, so we have 2. Did Hamza find anything else? Maybe more food?
I think so. I think more food is the rough thing of it. No, so there's nothing groundbreaking, but certainly having a couple of walkie-talkies will essentially help. Or personal communicators, I think we'll call them, for the sci-fi thing. And then I don't think you really found. Oh no, something else did happen.
Something else did happen after we'd found. This was in the galley, I think, and after we'd found those. The ship was not in a good way, and a kind of beam fell down and hit Hamza pretty hard. He's a tough guy, though, so he took it well and was okay, but it was quite a bad hit. Adam managed to avoid it for the most part. And then we thought, let's not go in there anymore, and basically decided to head back to camp with that information.
Absolutely. And speaking of back in camp, 2 of the individuals were still there resting up. And let's bring on Mike, who plays Sadira, to say what they got up to.
Hey, so yeah, we, when I say we, I mean Sadira and Levere were in the camp. We'd returned to the camp after getting some water because myself and Levere have got, a bit of an upset tummy after drinking some undistilled water.
That's the lightest way anyone's ever described dysentery, Mike. But,
so we returned to camp, did some camp preparation stuff, and then we did some reconning of the area immediately around the camp to the south, and we found another one of those metallic structures, and we decided to investigate. Went over there. Surprise, surprise! Another spaceship, another crashed spaceship. Again, no signs of life. I think this time a fire had burnt out all of the cryo stuff inside of it. But we did find some supplies. What did we get? I think we got food mostly, and we got some armor as well.
Some kind of light armor that I think.
I think we put on Levere. Yeah, we put it on Levere because he was a bit more beaten up. And then we came back to the camp after that.
Absolutely. And then I think maybe it's maybe not entirely chronological, but certainly through the day and before and after the scavenging trips, there was some business to take care of around camp. And let's bring on Chris, who plays Levere, who I guess he's still the pilot. He's just got nothing to pilot right now.
Yeah, thanks.
It's all right. So what went down at camp before you started sleeping for the evening, Chris? Oh, he's so devastated by my. Oh, there he is. He's back.
We're back.
He's back.
Oh, sorry about that.
It's all right.
As a part, just generally throughout the day, a number of bits and pieces occurred. We went to. I went to kind of stalk the stalker, given we've been kind of tracked by this snuffleupagus thing with 4 eyes and many legs, and trying to figure out what it was. But I rolled so well, I actually evaded it and didn't actually notice it on my loop of the camp. Another thing that happened, again not chronological, was that we had a critical success on a roll to create a water still. So we now have a very effective water still bucket.
These are lies. Well, not a water still. No, you have. Yeah, it was a cooking pot, I believe, rather than a or like sort of thing, rather than a water still, which I think is something very different.
A little bit more high tech. Yeah, and let me see. What else did we do? We refreshed our shelter. That was we made a good run then, and that's about it. Did we talk about our trip to the other ship?
Yes, Mike just covered that with Thedera. So a couple of extra things that did happen is a kind of a funeral of sorts.
Of course, God.
Yes, where you cremated the remains of the others that were killed in the crash. And I believe also you discussed plans to essentially start making your way towards the kind of stepped pyramid on the horizon. After a good night's sleep, and kind of slowly make your way forwards, I think was the general idea. But before you got a chance for any of that to happen, let's bring on our final player, Stephen, who plays Hamza. The again, usually a deckhand, but no decks to hand at the moment. And how did keeping watch that night go for you, Stephen?
It was eventful. So I think Hamza was in a mood for just volunteering for lots of things that day. He kind of walked back and forth to the lake and explored the wrecks and helped to kind of like hunt some food, and decided that he was big enough and tough enough to also take the first watch that night. In the process of circling the perimeter, heard some noises in a kind of pile of wreckage. Went to investigate, looked up and saw some huge monstrous darkness blocking out the stars, which was not a vast space creature, but something merely big and much closer and kind of on his face.
Something a bit more local, very local now for Hamza.
Extremely local, yes.
Pounced, and they are currently essentially rolling around on the ground. With whatever this is, desperately trying to disembowel Hamza. So, what we're going to do is we're going to set some initiative first. So John will have to do this. And John, can you just give us an initiative at first that's just Hamza and just list Hamza and Beast? And that's it, because we're going to have a kind of waking up system for other people, right? But in terms of what that initiative is going to be, to sort your initiative within Coriolis, you literally just roll a die, highest wins, but then there's mechanics for like moving around within the initiative order. So if me and Stephen just do that, and the Beastie got a 4.
I got a 3.
There we go. I mean, regardless of that, it's definitely going to get an attack in on you anyway. First off, for leaping on you, so I'll just roll straight up for that. Just for context, folks, its initial surprise attack on you is 12 dice. So just so you know, that's the kind of level we're dealing with here. Oh my god. I have to re-roll 2, but so far I've rolled no successes.
That's good. I'm happy about this.
I still have rolled no successes. So clearly the thing pounced on you out of the darkness, and you've both kind of gone tumbling to the floor. But I'm going to say the fact that it hasn't even successful, I feel like I can't even say it's pinned you to the floor, It's kind of rolled off you and is kind of rounding on you, clearly, just battered against you more than actually try to bite or claw at you in any way. And now it's kind of snarling at you from... I'm getting a bad echo of my voice, by the way. I don't know if I'm coming out of anyone's speakers. Like it's kind of rounding on you and by the wreckage, and kind of you can get a good look at it now. It's around the size of perhaps a little bit larger, and this isn't a comparison that maybe your characters would understand, but it's a little bit larger than a tiger. It's got a kind of feline build, other than the fact it has 6 legs. It's also covered in a very kind of dark, navyish, purplish fur, which is very sleek. It has 4 very kind of piercing black eyes at the front of its face, just above a tooth-filled maw. And moreover than that, it seems along its flanks, it's got a number of what look like spines coming out of it. It also looks pretty damn aggressive. So now what we will do is we will go into initiative. So this beast, and this is the first time we've used combat in this. So we'll talk a bit about action economy and stuff like that in here. Essentially, every turn you have 3 action points, and there are 4 kinds of actions: slow, normal, fast, and free, which cost in order 3, 2, 1, and 0 action points. There are kind of reaction things you can do, and those points either need to be are usually spent outside of your turn, so that you'll either spend them before your turn and use them up, or you have to hold them in reserve to use them on your turn. What this thing is doing, though, is it's going to attack in I don't think it's engaged with you. It hasn't kind of moved far enough away from you. It needs to move towards you, and it's going to do a normal attack and then hold one of its actions in reserve. And that normal attack this time is just with 10 dice. The extra 2 were from the surprise attack, though clearly that didn't achieve anything for it. Okay, that went a lot better. Significantly better, I would like to say. I mean, it's all a matter of perspective. Let me just have a quick look at what it's going to do here. Yes, that will be that. So it's rolled 4 successes.
Okay.
So what happens now is you take a baseline of the weapon damage. In this case, the weapon damage of its swipey claws, and then on top of that, the first success that you roll with a combat action like this is just that's what causes the weapon damage. Essentially, that's the hit, and then every extra success, which in this case is 3 dice, I get to spend, or you would get to spend, on additional things to do with the hit. So what I would like to do with that hit, I'll throw in 1 extra point of damage, and I will use it to raise its initiative. And I know it's already going first, but what that means is the initiative score is raised by 1. So for the purposes of when other people get added to the initiative order, John, can you note down that the beast is now at 6? And I'm also going to disarm you.
Okay. Rules query at this point. Defending against attacks as like an opposed roll is a free action. Is that something that I would get to do?
It's not a free action. It's a fast action.
Okay. But I haven't yet acted, so I don't get to defend.
Oh yeah, you can if you want. Yeah.
It says defending in an opposed roll is a free action, but okay.
And defending in close combat is a fast action.
Okay.
I wrote the list, trust me. Defending in an opposed roll would be something like trying to race faster than someone, or like just it's making the roll in an opposed roll, if you see what I mean, or like someone trying to intimidate you and you trying to resist that, or something like that. But if you want to use one of your actions to defend, you can absolutely do that now. Probably a good idea.
Would that defend against the attack that's just happened?
Yes.
Or against, okay. Yes, I would like to do that.
Yeah. I should have given you the opportunity to do it, but I was too busy explaining. So, yeah, go ahead and make a melee combat roll.
Strength melee. So that would normally be 6 dice, but we do have the slight issue of broken ribs to contend with.
Does that reduce your dice pool?
Yes, that's 4 dice for dex and melee.
Nice.
That is 1 success. So I guess that reduces 1 of your extra dice, right?
Yeah, that takes 1 of my successes away. Or rather than that, actually, Well, it's up to you. There's actually some options you can do this. You can decrease the damage. You can perform a counter attack, dealing weapon damage to the attacker. You can disarm them, though you can't because it's just its cause. Or you can raise your initiative.
I think under the circumstances, I would decrease damage.
I think that's a good idea. In that case, what happens is it's going to still take that raised initiative, John. And it's also going to disarm you. And specifically, I don't know if you also have your power glove on, but it's not the power glove. It's going to swipe at you and swipe at the. It's clearly maybe either clever or lucky enough to have swiped at the. Is it a carbine you're holding? Did you borrow someone's rifle?
I think I had a borrowed rifle. In my head, I kind of had the power glove as well. I don't know how that actually works, but
sure. Yes, John's asked whether to show the initiative values. If they help you, then yes. Otherwise, it's fine. That's great. Yeah, fantastic. So the carbine or the rifle goes kind of skittering away into the grass, and you don't have any armor, do you?
No.
No. Then just take 2 health points, please. 2 hit points. Health points.
Cool. That is on top of the spaceship accident earlier in the day. It's a bad day for Hamza.
It is, but it could be considerably worse, right? What's your health pool on now?
6 remaining.
Well, that's not too bad. But what it's done is left kind of deep gash scores along one forearm as you kind of reel back from it. This thing's talons are extremely dangerous. So we're on your turn, and you've got 2 action points left.
Fantastic. That is enough for a normal attack, right?
Mm-hmm, absolutely.
Okay.
And I'm assuming that's with your power fist.
Yes, the power glove. So that's a bonus of 1, which I assume is 1 dice.
If that's gear bonus,
that's gear bonus. Yeah.
Yeah, that means you get an extra die to your melee attack. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So we're going to go.
What are the other stats on it, just out of interest?
On the power glove, it's a bonus of 1. It's initiative plus 1, so it should be initiative.
Okay, so the initiative. So Hamza's initiative can go to 4 then. Well, it's 4 as long as you attack with that.
Yes. I'm not going to be attacking with the Vulcans.
No, sure, but you might not attack for any reason, in which case you go back down to 3.
Yeah, fair enough. It's damage to crit 3.
Okay.
Close range.
Well, make sure to roll then. So roll your melee combat plus
strength,
your
plus melee plus 1 minus the broken ribs. Let's see what we get. Absolutely nothing. It's
very surprising how much you can roll in this game without getting a single 6, isn't it?
I mean, look, there's little statistic tables in the rulebook that say how successful you should be, and they lie.
They do lie. But that's XCOM. So
can I interest you in a darkness point?
If you're gonna pray to the icons? I
think I might, yeah.
Yeah, let's pray to the icons, okay? I will knock up my darkness points, and I may be under on these. I don't know because I forgot to count them a little bit. But I think I'm now on 12.
It's
which is fine.
Some terrifyingly huge number.
Yeah.
Right, that achieved nothing.
Sure. So that was a prayer to the dancer, but clearly the dancer is not listening to you today.
Can I, as a free action, also just like have a bit of a scream?
Yeah, like you kind of a yell to the others.
I will make as much noise as I can.
Absolutely, that seems good. So it's going to. Here's the thing. I should have declared the defense, right? So I'm not going to defend on that roll because I should have declared before now, realistically. So instead, it's got 1 extra action. I don't know what I'm going to do with it, if anything. I guess I'm not going to do anything. No, that's fine. That's fine. So with that in mind, I would like everyone who has not who is not already involved to make a wits roll, please. And it's a roll that you can add a die to as well for Hamza's scream.
Okay. We got
How'd
one.
we do?
We got 1-6.
None.
You can absolutely do a prayer to the icons reroll for this if you want.
What are we rolling for here? Is this like
Waking
initiative?
up.
Oh, waking up. Oh man. I really don't want to have to give you another bloody darkness point. No, well, do I really need to get a success to wake up after Hamza's screamed?
Yeah,
I don't think I'm going to be sleeping that heavily. I'm not in
you're
like
very
a bloody.
tired.
I'm not
Very
in like.
tired.
It's
Yeah,
also
but-
possible that the crew has got accustomed to the idea of Hamza screaming in the nighttime.
Well, fair. In that case, I'll re-roll.
All right. Lovely dice.
Do I get to add a dice to this? Is that how, or do I just re-roll?
I don't know.
You re-roll whatever any dice that missed in that roll. So yeah.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Oh well, I failed again. Just
Good.
2s and 3s for me that time.
Good stuff. Good stuff. But Adam woke up. So let's make an initiative roll, Sam, and we'll add you to the initiative list.
All right. I get a 5. Not bad.
Okay. So let's slot Adam in there. I think we have the beast to go again first. So it's going to what it's actually going to do. Yeah, because that could be interesting. It's going to do a quick melee attack at Hamza, which is a fast action at a -2 modifier to the attack roll. Are you going to defend against that?
Yes, because it's an enormous space tiger.
Yes, I think that's fair. So this just costs 1 action point for the creature and 1 action point for you. So I am going to roll, and yeah, you tell me what you get.
Will the power glove count towards defensive rolls?
Yes, I think so. Oh no. Well, in the book, it just I remember copying this out and going, "Do you not add the gear bonus?" I don't think you do add the gear bonus.
Okay, sure.
For defense.
I guess that stands to reason, right? It's only attacks. Yeah, it's not my night.
So that's a 0. Fair enough. Well, I only rolled 1 success. So it's just another swipe, and this time leaving very deep gashes along your thigh for another 2 damage. It's then going to spend 1 action point on moving, and it's going to dash towards Adam. This removes it from being engaged with you, Hamza, which means that if you want, you can make an attack of opportunity. An attack of opportunity is, I'm assuming, a fast action. Yes, it is a fast action, so it would cost you another action point. And that is, yeah, you can make a fast action attack. You get +2 to the roll.
Let's do that. Yeah, absolutely.
Sure. So go ahead and make a fast, like an attack on it with +2 to your roll, and obviously you'll get the plus from the power glove on this one.
Okay, that's 6 dice. 2 successes.
Okay. So what's the baseline damage of your power glove?
It is 2.
Okay. And then what are you going to spend that extra success on?
This is like an attack of opportunity. So I've essentially launched myself at this thing as it's moving away, right?
Mm-hmm.
Can I spend the extra success on perhaps grappling it then? So try and kind of pin it to the ground.
While that's an option on there, I would judge as GM that grappling this thing would cost more than 1 success.
Fair enough.
Because it's the size, it's like larger than a tiger, you know?
I'll take that.
So I'm going to judge no for this specific enemy.
Okay. In which case, I think we are just going to go with
Good old raised damage.
Yeah, good old raised damage. I was
Good
tempted
old
by
raised
critical
damage.
injury, but they
Well, the hide of this thing provides an armor rating of 1. And how that works for anyone else here who's wearing armor is when you take damage, you simply roll the armor rating, and every success reduces the damage by 1. Very straightforward. That is not a success, so it will take 3 health points. As you say, you kind of launch for it, and like there's a click and a whirring sound and a slight hum as the power glove charges up in your hand, on your hand rather. You swing it and feel like the impact of it. I haven't read quite how power gloves work, but I'm guessing they're like a hydraulic system or something like that.
I think some kind of piston, something.
Yeah, like a piston system, and you hear like a crunch, maybe of a bone, like a rib break on it or something, and the thing lets out an odd noise, because I guess you'd expect like a roar or maybe some of the feline noise, but it lets out a kind of almost bear-like huffing as the hit connects. And then what it's going to do is, as it's dashing over to Adam, it's going to hurl itself sideways in a quick melee attack in an attempt to basically partly sort of... It's basically trying to drive those spines, those spikes on the side of it, into Adam.
Wow.
And it's going to be a quick attack. Are you going to defend against this attack?
No.
Fair enough. So that's going to be just a roll of 8 dice for it, because it's a quick one. And it does get successes. 3 of them in point of fact. Point. Now, same as the damage points caused. Okay. Well, that will be 1. Let me just work out what I'm going to spend these extra ones on. You know what? I think I'm going to do that, because I think that's kind of appropriate. I am going to spend 1 point, like 1 success, on raising its initiative again. So can we change its initiative to 8, please, John? It's trying to gain control of the battlefield by doing this, so I think it's appropriate. I'm going to spend 1 on giving you a point of stress, because I think waking up and jumping to your feet and then being immediately sort of impaled on the spines of a big alien creature is probably quite stressful. And then it's going to deal you a damage. Do you have armor?
I think I probably wouldn't sleep in my protective clothing.
No,
So, no.
You're kind of wearing your thermostatic armor all the time at the moment, aren't you?
Yeah, but I think I would be wearing that all the time. As far as I can tell, that has no armor.
No armor
to
rating.
It.
Sure.
I can't find a thing that says it has armor, so I assume it doesn't have armor.
Fair enough. Can we have just a double check on that, please? Please, John, if you can look at the thing.
What does the stress do to me? Is that a mind point?
Yeah, it's a mind point. Sorry. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. And the only other thing is, so these spikes, they are poisonous.
Okay.
So what's about to happen is you're going to take just a single point of damage as one of the spines kind of runs through your side, and now you have to win an opposed roll of your strength versus the poison strength. Fortunately, because it only did 1 damage, the poison strength is only 1.
Okay.
So you have to roll your strength and get 1 success.
Okay. My strength is 2.
Mm-hmm.
So not my strong suit. I didn't get any successes.
Okay. Do you want to pray to the icons?
Yes. I'll roll again. I still did not get successes.
Okay. In that case, could you give me, please, a D6 roll?
Just 1d6?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I got a 1.
That's good. So what's happened? Take 1 point of damage. You're kind of knocked back and you stumble and you start to fall and you sort of try and get your hands under you on the ground to lift yourself up. But as you do so, you feel a wave of odd sensation through your body, as if pins and needles are running through the whole thing. Kind of your vision, your senses are absolutely fine, but you feel your muscles lock up like an all-body cramp, and you just topple to the floor, kind of just literally locked in position.
Okay.
1 minute.
How many turns is that?
That's a good question, and I nearly copied that information out, but didn't quite. John does confirm that the thermostatic armor doesn't. It gives a +1 to attack, to survival rolls rather, but not.
Yeah.
Fortunately, I know exactly where in the book the information is.
A turn of combat is 10 to 20 seconds.
Okay, we'll be
that's
favourable here and say 20 seconds. So it's going to be
3 turns.
Yeah, including this one because you're about to, act.
Yeah.
So. Yeah. Adam
Good luck,
is
team.
good luck. That's all the beast's actions. Adam is out for the round, has crashed to the floor. Hamza, you have no idea what's happened to him, obviously, other than that he's been knocked to the floor because you're in no situation to diagnose this.
Enormous space tiger keeping us busy. Yeah, I believe I have one quick action left because I defended. I attack of opportunity. I would like to spend that action looking for the rifle.
Absolutely, and you know what? I think it's not knocked that far away, so I think it's perfectly reasonable that you can grab it and pick it back up again.
Fantastic.
Kind of, there's a soft light from the fire, and it's kind of glinting, in the grass nearby. So I think that's absolutely fine. Okay, the two people who are still asleep. Can you give me, please? Oh God, big pluses this time, I think. So, how about a wits roll +3? I think is good this time. And if this one doesn't work, you will just wake up next turn.
Oh,
Well,
Come on.
I woke up critically, so
nice.
Okay.
Critical wake up.
How many successes did you get?
6.
You got 6 successes.
Sorry, I got three successes. Sorry, I did misread that.
Sure. Well, you know what I'll judge then. Give us your initiative roll, and also Chris, if you want, you can.
Initiative is just 1d6, right?
It's just 1d6. That's right.
The darkness point all-you-can-eat food self-service situation ends now, Matthew.
Okay.
I rolled 3 for my initiative, by the way.
Okay. So insert Sadira into the initiative order there, please, John. But I'm going to say that critical means that you can leap to your feet and take. You can have. Well, it was 2 over a success, so you can have 2 action points in this round right now before we start with the beast again.
Okay. So I guess I'll grab my rifle, which is I guess by my side.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll take do the extra action points mean that I can take like an aimed shot, perhaps? An aimed shot is 3 action points, and you've just used 1 to pick up your rifle. And you've got 2, so probably not. Okay, so just a normal shot then.
Well, not a normal shot; it'll be a quick shot.
Okay, quick shot.
Because you've got picking up your rifle is 1 action point, and then
right,
you can take a quick shot.
Okay. I will do that.
It says can only be performed with light weapons. I'm assuming your rifle is a light weapon. I don't know how the definitions of them are in the.
I noted down all the stats for it, and I don't think that light appears. It's tech 0, if that makes any difference. Not 0. It's ordinary tech. Sorry, not 0. It's O for ordinary.
I don't know what you've just typed means, John.
I know that my power glove was marked as light, so I assume that's in the table that describes the things.
Yeah, I think it's probably most things are light. It's just like if you haven't got a massive mounted weapon or something. I think, but I don't know. What I really don't know is why the weapons section is so far into the equipment chapter. Oh yeah, there's literally nothing that says light or otherwise. So, I guess it's just that it's not heavy, because there's a heavy feature but not a light one. So I guess it's just that. And what is your weapon again?
Vulcan carbine.
There are some that say they're light from in the ranged weapons table. Features light on the Vulcan cricket and the thermal cricket. Yeah.
Right. In that case, I guess you can't take a quick shot.
Okay. Well, I will get ready to take a shot.
Well, you know round. What? Can
I just kick Chris at this point and or Levere? And
sure.
Wake him up?
Yeah, there we go. Yeah. There's an action you can take. Chris, feel free to roll your initiative.
Finally, I can help to fly you all to safety. That's a 1 on my initiative.
Okay. So, everyone is now on their feet. Sadira is armed. Adam is paralyzed. And let's find out what the beast is going to do. So the beast is slightly intimidated by the number of you that are now up and about. And I'd say that it's... Well, it ran over to Adam, right? So I'm going to say it's not in engagement range of any of you right now. Because obviously, Hamza, you did hit it as it was dashing away from you. So I'm going to say that what it's going to do is it's going to move towards the last motion that it saw, which is Luria getting to his feet. It's going to dash over and engage Luria, and it's going to just do a quick attack and then hold an action in reserve. So that's just what it's going to do. And is it gonna? I guess it's gonna quick attack with its spines. I think that kind of makes sense for a thing for it to be doing. So yeah. Okay, those are 2 successes.
I suppose.
Are you going to defend?
Absolutely wanted to declare that before you rolled it. In fairness.
Yeah, absolutely. So go ahead and roll.
Yeah, I'm muted.
You're muted, Chris.
I literally swear I clicked it off there. Goodness. Anyway, I have my light armor, or scavenged light armor on, which has a protection factor of 4. So let me see. How do I defend against melee?
You just roll melee combat.
Yeah, which is Dex.
Strength, I think, rather than Dex.
Yeah,
also
strength and melee combat is also, I take damage for this.
Oh, because of your critical injury. Yeah.
Now, let me figure out what that is. So I've got 3 dice for my strength. And the critical injury is 1 damage on force, dex, or melee rolls. So this is technically a melee roll, even though it's untrained, yeah? So I will take that damage in a second. Wow, unsurprisingly, no successes.
Okay, so you take you take a damage just for...
Take a damage, yeah.
Is that because have you got a lacerated kidney, is that right?
I've got that. But that is why I didn't roll to defend.
Right, sure. What's your critical injury, Chris?
I believe I have internal injuries.
Internal bleeding, yeah. Okay, well, if you don't get that, Luria is still wearing the light armor indeed. Yeah, he just said he's got an armor rating of 4. So first off, I guess I have to say what I'm spending both of these on damage. No, you know what? I'm not going to. I'm going to spend one of them on giving you a point of stress, so take a mind point damage, and then I'm going to inflict 1 point of poison on you. So if you give me your armor rating roll, which is just 4 dice.
Hooray! A success! First one this session.
There you go. You cancel it out, which means the poison can't affect you either. So the end result of that, you did take a health point, but only because of the stress and strain of like entering melee combat with internal bleeding. And you also took the mind point. Again, I just felt that was consistent. You have also just got to your feet and a large ravening creature has brushed its poisonous spines against you. That's a hell of a way to wake up. Yeah. And it's going to hold
Fleet Academy.
It's going to hold the next one of its actions in reserve. So that's all it's doing this round. Adam is paralyzed. Hamza, how about you?
I've been desperately trying to look up the stats for the Vulcan Carbine because I borrowed it, so I didn't get to write it down. But my thinking,
I've got it here. So.
My plan was essentially to spend all 3 of my points on an aimed shot.
Sure, absolutely, go for it. So with an aimed shot, do you get a +2 to the roll? Is that right?
I think so.
Yep. So you get a +2 to the roll for that, and you also get a +1. And now, because this is the first aim, there may be another modifier because there's modifiers for different ranges. There's a modifier for going like above your range, but there's also just ranges based on how far away something is. And let's have a quick look at the estimate here. Okay, I would say you're not within 2 meters of it. I'd say that you're spread a bit further apart than that. So I'd say it's short range, which is 0.
Yep.
Yeah. So in other words, you get +2 for the aim, you get +1 for the Vulcan Carbine, and then it's just your ranged attack.
Okay. Oh, come on. That's a complete miss, yeah.
Okay. Well, you know what? These darkness points have been burning a hole in my pocket.
Oh, for the love of space god.
I'm going to spend 3 darkness points, because being as you just picked up a rifle and shot at it and nothing happened, I'm going to spend darkness points for a misfire.
Oh,
this
no.
Vulcan Carbine has jammed. The attack is lost, which it would have been anyway. And as a slow action, that consumes an entire turn, a roll for technology could be made to try and fix the weapon. But right now, this carbine is of no further use. Hey, you gave me them, folks.
Yeah.
Finally using them. Yeah.
Cool.
Although interestingly, normally NPCs can't perform reactive actions in combat, i.e. defending, and to do so, the GM must spend 1 darkness point. Has it defended yet? Did I do a defense with it? I don't think I did. I held aside a point for it, and then I forgot to declare it, so I didn't do it. So yeah. But just so you know, that's going to cost me points. Now, technically speaking, Hamza, that could have gone before or after Sadira, because the carbine doesn't have the initiative thing, but it doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter really in the grand scheme of things. So, see what I mean about Coriolis combat is a bit more complex than other Year Zero stuff, but we'll get there, folks. We'll get there.
That's because without using the power glove, the initiative goes down to
Correct.
3. Okay.
Correct. And because the carbine doesn't have an initiative boost on it. Yeah. I think that's a bit clunky, like having yourself shift around an initiative based on what weapon you're using. I get why, but like I get the point of what it's trying to do, but it makes it a bit fiddly in practice to actually do it. But hey, at least when you're trying to do it fast on the stream.
Well, regardless of the order, it failed catastrophically.
It failed, and that's all your action points, isn't it? So, okay, Sadira, what are you going to do?
I'll do an aimed shot, I think. So if I've got this right, I roll I think it's agility and range combat, which is 6. And then I get a bonus of 1 for the carbine.
Correct.
And I get +2 on that as well, because it's an aim shot. So it's 9 in total.
Completely. And I'd say your range is also makes a 0 modifier. So yeah, that's what you got.
1 success.
Okay.
But there was 1 success.
That's better than nothing, isn't it? So the damage on a Vulcan Carbine is 3. And it gets an armor roll. Only of 1. does get a 6 though, but that's 2 damage. You fire with the Vulcan carbine, and I think the whole deal with Vulcan weapons is that they use, and I may be
It's like an
slightly
explosive.
making up more. Is it the explosives or is it like the superheated stuff? It might be. I think you're right. It is the explosive. Yeah, they're like explosive rounds, and there's kind of a great, fire tiny rockets with explosive heads, and there's a great kind of like repeated cracking noise that echoes over the savannah, and like anyone with any kind of, you know what, Adam, because you're looking at nothing right now. Your eyes are like locked on the horizon just from where you've fallen, and you see in like the very dim light of the stars and the moons, like you just see kind of like bird analogs like rising up from you could you think maybe it's the watering hole that they're rising up from and flying into the sky, because it's really quite a loud sound in the relatively quiet savannah. You've definitely hurt it, Sadira, but it looks mad. So there we go. Luia, you are in engaged range with it, just so you know. And I believe you have 2 action points left because you used 1 on a defense.
So I'm also unarmed because I never got my stun pistol back from the great inventory reaving at the beginning of our campaign. I would love to kick the campfire at it.
Yeah, sure. Like unarmed attacks just do 1 flat damage, but I think like especially in a case like this where it's against a big beastie that you wouldn't want to go in it, like coming up with some kind of like I'm heaving or even one of the like burning lumps of you didn't really get wood, you're building it with like grasses and stuff, aren't you? But yeah, kick the campfire at it. Absolutely, go for it. Are you just doing like a standard attack then? Just a 2-point?
I'll just throw the attack at that. I'm kind of happy with remaining engaged with it because I think I have the best armor at the minute, even though I have also probably the lowest health point total. So this might work out to be a bad idea, but it's the tools we have.
Well, that's a standard melee attack, and you, I believe that means you take a health point from that as well, don't you? From the exertion.
Just for the viewers at home, that puts me on 3 health points. So there will be some prayer here. I'm rolling as just straight up strength because I don't have anything in melee combat. I get no successes. I pray really hard, thanks to the dancer. I also get no successes.
So much for the end of the Darkness Point buffet.
Mute myself. I am going to defend with that, which cost me a darkness point, the one you just gave me. And no, that's not right. Hang on. Yes. Sorry, I got confused because the amount of hit points it's got and the amount of darkness points I have is the same amount. So now I'm like doing weird things. So I'm going to defend with no successes. Although, you know what? I'm going to spend another darkness point to reroll because I can get an icon style reroll with that. Let's have a look what we've got here. I've just realized I've entirely miscalculated. Yeah, never mind. It's all good. So I'm going to take that reroll. And this time I roll 2 successes. Wonderfully. And I am going to use one of them to give you another point of stress, so another mind point. And then I am going to hit you. And I think it'll swipe at you again, which is 2 damage. So can you give me an armor roll for that, please?
I think there's going to be some prayer here as well, maybe.
I don't think you can pray on an armor roll.
Critical success, 3 6s.
I mean, it's not a critical success, but yes, it's good. There's a kind of screeching noise as its talons rake across the surface of that light armor, and considering it's something that you found in a wreck and had to kind of slightly bodge to make it fit you, it's holding up surprisingly well. And yeah, that's it.
Soaked.
Give me 1 second, folks, while I just recalculate what I've done here, because I think I've rather badly. When you hit it the first time, Hamza, it was 3 points of damage, right?
When I hit it, I think so. Yeah, it was the power fist plus an extra.
Yeah, and then it was 2 points of damage from Mike, so that's all good. So what we've got here should have been 11, and then so that's 10. Yeah, like I say, I got the hit points and the darkness points badly bodged, but it's all good now. Now I know how much I have to wield against you. Background to the beginning of the initiative order. Adam is missing out once again. I think this creature is going to be somewhat frustrated with its lack of being able to hurt Luia, and I think it's going to try to bite you.
Ouch.
I think that's what it's going to do. In a normal like attack, do you want to defend?
I don't really have enough health points to risk it, I'm afraid, so no.
Fair enough. In that case, that'll be that. Oof. And that's a bad miss. I am going to spend for a darkness point for a reroll there.
Oh,
our darkness points are down to single digits, folks. That's rough.
I'm never rerolling again.
Best news I've had all session.
That's just one success. Can you give me an armor roll, please?
Oh God. Yes, one success.
That's all you needed. It tries to bite into you, and you feel like the metal buckles slightly, or like the probably more of a plastic, right, or a plastic alloy, kind of crumples slightly on your side as it snaps towards you. But even though you can feel the pressure of its jaws, and it is a fearsomely strong creature, evidently, it kind of wrestles you out of its mouth and backs off slightly, snarling in frustration. And you seem unhindered. It's going to hold its other action in reserve. Hamza, since you don't have the carbine, are you trying to fix the carbine? Are you running in and doing a bit of the old puncheroo?
I think I have other weapons available. So, I mean, what are we talking range here? Like, what is it to get to it? If I was going to
one action point just to get to it.
Okay, so I can do that and a normal attack.
Absolutely.
Let's do that.
Okay.
So
dash on in then, and this is going to use its defense up, which costs me another darkness point. Two. Well, I'm going to cancel one of them because that's all I got. So that's just a standard hit, right? So
that's the power glove. So that's damage 2.
Damage 2. It gets an armor roll of 1, which it fails with. You dash over, perhaps having to partly leap across the campfire in order to get to it, and you're kind of flush with Luir now. And as you kind of leap over, you bring the power fist down. Kind of, would you do it like that? I guess not. I guess maybe like that would be better, right? Like trying to force it down across its back, like bracing it with one hand. Because I was like, rah, like a kind of double axe handle wrestler. But why would you do that? You'd probably just crack the bones in one hand instead. You do that for the extra force, bringing it down, and you do feel something give way underneath, and it lets loose another pained huffing noise. It doesn't look happy anymore, or indeed all that confident. So that's all your action points, I believe. Yep. Sadira.
I think I'll take another aim shot.
Just another aim shot. Yep, seems good to me. So you know what you're doing. That's the ranged combat roll with a +3 in total, I think.
Yep. And 3 6s.
Ooh, that is not bad.
Nice.
So you've got 2 extra successes there. What do you want to spend them on?
Yeah, so I've got some options here, haven't I? Because I can add them on as like extra damage or a critical injury, I believe, or like suppressive fire and stuff like that. I think it makes sense maybe to go for a critical injury. Does that make sense?
Yeah, sure. I'm never really sure how much critical injuries matter against NPCs, but you absolutely can, because it could result in it could insta kill it if you roll high enough on the critical injury table, or it could give it a penalty to its dice pools or whatever. I think it's definitely like a balancing act between whether you just want to take the extra damage or you want to go for a critical injury.
Do I have a choice here? Because I've rolled 2 extra 6s above the sort of standard level of success. So I gotta do 1 point in critical and 1 point in extra damage.
Well, the crit rating of your weapon determines how many successes you need to spend to get a critical injury, which in the case of the carbine is 2. So if you did want to do a critical injury, it would just be the normal damage of the weapon and then the critical injury.
Okay.
Roll on the fun table. I want to see what happens.
Yeah. Yeah,
sure. Let's do it. All right. Well, in that case, I'll just deal with the normal damage first. What's the normal damage of the carbine? Is it 2, 3?
I think it's 3.
Is it 3? Okay, I'll roll the creature's armor. And it does roll its armor. It's clearly armor that's good at deflecting carbine rounds. But you've left kind of gaping, smoking holes in its side. It really looks like it's feeling this fire quite badly now. And Mike, why don't you give us a critical injury roll, which is just a D66. D66, please.
43.
43. So here's the thing. So what does that mean there? Because it does list it as fatal, but does that mean I just take it as a fatality on a... Oh, no, there are just 2 that simply kill you outright. Okay, that's... Yeah. Okay, yeah. You fire into the creature, and basically one of its legs is almost severed at whatever passes for a knee joint in the thing. It bends backwards anyway, and essentially one of its limbs is flopped over and is just kind of hanging on to the stump of the limb by a thin bridge of flesh and under arteries, and it gives out a great kind of huffing growl and starts to kind of vaguely kind of back itself off slightly away from the campfire and from the group of you. Practically what this means is it's actually a really good result. It takes -2 to force and melee combat rolls, and also is stunned for a turn, so it's not going to get any actions the next round. So there we go. Pretty good result.
Nice.
Luria, you are remaining, and I don't think you've spent any actions.
I don't think I have, but there's not much I can spend. Giving any kind of attack against the thing will cost me dearly.
Health, yeah.
I would like to have a go at repairing the rifle, but I don't know if that's a fair thing that we can work in, because would I have enough information to know it's jammed?
I don't think you probably would. No, I think this is a confusing situation in the middle of the night, and I'm not sure you would have kind of grokked that the rifle that Hamza had is jammed up?
I really don't think there's much I can do. I think there's an action I can take to delay my action to improve my initiative next turn.
Yes, there is. Let's just do a quick check of that.
Do that myself.
Yeah. So
I
essentially,
can choose to lower their initiative and act later. Oh no! Sorry, I can lower my initiative.
yeah, that's for acting later. I think that the
I can raise my initiative, I suppose.
no, I think that's only done via extra successes
Successes,
on skill tests. Or it says actions can be taken to raise your initiative score in the next round. Let's. For some reason, I'm not seeing what I've actually written here.
No, I got it. Yeah, no, that's if that's the case, then I just get for each action I spend, I get 2 extra initiative score for next round. John's helping us out here.
You can use actions to maneuver into a better position, raising your initiative score. Your new score takes effect in the following turn and could change the turn order for the rest of the fight. Where is this? Sorry, what page references this, John? Because I'm not, just because I didn't note this down in my cheat sheet. So, H2, thank you. Okay, that's not that page. Raising your initiative. Surprise attack. Can you use actions below to maneuver into... Right, yeah, that's just what I think that's just what I read out. Like, you have to actually get successes on the actions, though. You can't just spend it. Otherwise, it would be in the actions list, right?
Okay, I think, honestly, given I am on 3 points of health here, I'm not going to make the risk of attacking the thing, and I'm actually going to just forfeit my turn.
Well, do you want to move away from it, at least?
Yeah, do you know what? That's actually, no, I don't, because I'm the only one wearing decent armor. So when it does leave its turn of stun, I would appreciate maybe the opposite. Maybe if I can just kind of move around in front of it so I have its gaze. Maybe taunt it.
Sure. Okay. Well, Lavir does have a little bit of a martyr complex, so that's that scans. So yeah, we're just gonna roll round to the next round. The beast is stunned. Adam, you get a turn.
How the tables have turned, Mr. Beast. I think I can't really do much to it, to be honest. I'm gonna probably try and put my protective clothing on before I just die. Maybe. That
Sure.
seems.
Do you not have any kind of weapon?
I have a Vulcan carbine which I lent to Hamza. He's making great use of it.
Which he has subsequently broken.
For some reason, I thought we had more than 2 ranged weapons, but clearly not.
Yeah, I lent that to him. My melee is terrible and also hurts me when I do it. So I don't think that's a good choice for me either. So yeah, I'm going to get my protective clothing on and then probably back away, maybe. Sure.
I'd say that putting on clothes is probably a slow action, right?
Yep, that'd be fair.
I think that's fair enough. So yeah, you can start strapping on your protective clothing. Meanwhile, I'm not entirely sure that this beast is long for the world. So yeah, John, I know how the initiative is raised. It's fine. It's what I've said. Skill tests. Certain skill tests allow you to spend successes to raise your initiative. That's how we've been. That's how the beast has been doing it. So we're all good. Thanks. Hamza, your turn. If you're using the power glove,
I am. Yes. So I guess as this thing's kind of backing away, I'm just following behind it.
Just gonna flatten it.
Yeah, just gonna punch it in its head.
Well, it's stunned, so it won't get any defense. So you just go ahead and hit it. Is this a standard roll, or is there like an extra special melee attack?
That's a good question.
No, I don't think there is. But if you wanted, you could make a normal melee attack and then a quick melee attack after it, if that was required. So
that could be fun. Let's resolve the normal one first, and we'll see how that goes.
Go for it.
I get 2 6s on that roll.
Okay, so what are you going to spend that extra success on?
I can't spend it on a crit, so I think we are going to increase damage.
Okay, and what does that make the damage?
3. It's the weapons damage plus the number of times I want to increase it, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. 3.
Yes. So if it's the flat weapon damage plus any successes you've spent on increasing it.
Cool.
3. Did you say?
Yes.
All right. We can remove the initiative. Thank you, John. You as the thing sort of starts muling and retreating, Hamza takes a couple of steps forward and one kind of measured, haymaker blow. You swing it round. The creature's head kind of ricochets off to one side, and there's an audible snap and a loud thump as the creature sinks to the ground with a broken neck. Step.
Nice.
Hooray!
Everyone okay?
Fucking hell! What was that?
That, my friends, was lunch.
Even nearly it's lunch.
There's got to be good eating on that thing. Let's be somewhere else today.
Oh, I can even move. Oh my goodness. Icons preserve me. Oh, that was the thing. That must have been the thing. Well, Matt, was that the thing? Is this thing got four eyes?
Yeah,
it was definitely
yes, it does. It does very much look like the thing you saw stalking you through the underbrush. Yeah,
this was what was after us at the watering hole.
I would also say, please carry on doing the role plays. But the two of you with dysentery, can you make another strength roll, please? And I think I gave you a strength +1 roll last time for the days passing. So take a strength +2 roll to see if you've got rid of it.
It was a scary encounter.
Can I have a critical success, please, and let me know what I can do with those additional actions? The poop goes back in.
You're now permanently immune to dysentery. No, I will come up with something, but how do you do, Mike?
Yeah, I got 1 success.
You also made it. Great. Okay. So this dysentery no longer applies to either of you, which means you no longer need the extra water ration. And you can now start healing health. Obviously, you're not going to lose any more health points, and you can now start healing them as well. And for your extra, how many extra successes did you get there, Chris?
I got a total of 3 successes.
Get 2 health points back.
Oh,
you feel fantastic. A lot better.
Nice.
What? I know it doesn't make sense on an alien planet with 3 suns, but what time is it? In terms of like what color is the sky?
Sure. Well, you've I believe you this is actually nighttime, isn't it? So you decided to sleep through the night, and you were taking the first watch, and I'm going to guess a watch is maybe like 2 hours or so. You're probably halfway through the night, because the night is, I believe, did I say no? It's 3 hours, isn't it? It's only 3 hours, I think, the nighttime.
I had this written down somewhere.
Yes, it's dark for 3 hours. So you know what? You're probably about an hour before daybreak.
Okay.
Should we use the fire we have now to cook this foul beast up? Best place to store energy is in us, I suppose. And I'm certainly not getting back to sleep.
It's less to carry, and
yeah,
I'm sore.
We're going to need the energy.
Well then, one last hurrah for our campfire and the shining light.
Okay, so you cook the creature up. It's basically 2 days full of food rations for everyone. So everyone doesn't need any food rations through the coming day. And next days is also sorted if you kind of carry it with you in some fashion. There's enough like spare random material and plastic like sheeting around that you can definitely make a like little sack to carry the kind of very barbecued remains of this thing around with you for the next day's food. Yeah.
While the cooking's happening, can I make an attempt to repair the carbine?
Absolutely. Give me a technology roll.
Can I interest you in a darkness point?
Of course.
We've learned nothing. Nothing.
I just one gun between the four of us is not good here. Right. I will hand the carbine back to Adam and just say, gun's broken. Sorry.
What happened to it?
There was a fight.
Right, but what? He broke the gun. Fine, whatever.
Can I take a look?
Yeah, like I don't try and discourage like everyone doing one by one, but I think like everyone could take a look at it, but let's not do everyone rolling at once. But I think having the next person take a look at it now is fine. Yeah.
I'll hand it to Levere.
Right, so
do your best.
I mean, yeah, it's only if you have technology you can roll it anyway, right?
Yeah.
Because it's advanced.
4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, let me see. 1 success. Yeah, that was a jam. Oof. Take out the
explosive small rocket.
It's probably clever enough to have like a failsafe or a flight abort, so it's probably just idle, but it's definitely wedged. So I've de-wedged it.
And it's all going to work okay now?
Well, yeah, but I don't think this is going to work again. The actual round in my hand.
Okay. Well, as long as the gun works, I don't want to...
Well, a gun doesn't really work without ammunition, but I suppose one bullet is not going to win a war or lose it.
Okay. Before you set off, because I know your plan is to, like, when daybreak happens, is perhaps to start your walk across the savannah. We never, I don't think, looked at further medicurgy rolls to try and halve critical injuries. And now might be the time to start doing that before you go much further. I don't know what, or maybe you want to hold on to your what they call end doses, something like that. Maybe you want to hold on to them for if someone is horribly critically injured again. What do you think, Mike? Sadir is the one with the equipment.
So we've got, I think we've got 4 M doses left. You only used 1 before?
That seems off.
No, we used 2. It was definitely one for each of the 2 critically injured friends. Yeah.
Okay, so in that case, we've got 3 left. Every time I do medicurgy, do I have to use an M dose, or did that just provide a bonus? Right.
You need to have some equipment.
Okay.
So if you feel you can improvise some, I mean, good luck persuading me that with the current stuff that's possible. But to make a roll, you have to have some form of medical equipment.
Okay. I mean, I don't know. Like, it's only going to halve our healing time, right? And like,
true, but I mean, I guess it's worth asking what everyone's healing time is, because if someone has a healing time of like 4 days, maybe it is worth it. I don't know. What is everyone's current healing time on the critical injury?
As of dawn.
Yeah.
As of dawn today, I'm on 2 days.
Okay. And Mike?
6 days left.
Stephen?
I was on 6 days. I don't know if now counts as a new morning or...
Yeah.
So, okay, so that will have ticked down to 5 days then.
And Sam?
I'm down to 11.
So it's up to you guys, really. It's a weird situation where the shorter the healing time might actually be the most priority, if that makes sense, because it's up to you guys entirely.
While we're
sorry.
No, you go ahead.
I was just going to say, like, how, like, and this has to be out of character, really, but like, how debilitating are people's injuries? Like, what are they rolling? Like, what are they kind of getting debuffed for their injuries?
I'm getting debuffed for melee, which is
the thing he does.
Unfortunate.
Yeah, I'm debuffed on force, dexterity, and melee. Well, no, I'm not debuffed. I just take a damage when I do those things.
Yeah, in fairness, like a damage for Hamza is 1 out of 12 or something.
But I think Hamza is debuffed.
Hamza's debuff, though.
It's fewer dice. I don't get hurt doing those things.
Oh, okay.
It's a different one. You and Sam have the same one of like taking the damage when you do those things. What's yours, Mike?
Mine's dexterity and infiltration.
Okay.
Yeah, two dice. So, like, I don't know. What do people think? Like, are people feeling useless without this and want to be healed sooner? Like, I'm happy to spend an M dose on someone for sure to halve their injury time. And like, I know what Matt's saying about like how in some ways like it may make sense for us to get Levere fully back up and running like in a day rather than 2 days. But then on the other hand, like for Adam, like if we could get it down to like 6 days rather than 11 days, that's a hell of a difference. So
Adam would not ask for an M-dose. I don't think.
Yeah,
They would actively reject one because, like, at the end of the day, even out of character, what on earth am I going to be doing with the strength of 3 and no combat skills?
Well, in that case, I don't think that Sidera is going to be like willing to just kind of frivolously waste one of the M doses. Unless sorry, Hamza, we didn't really talk about you there. Like, yeah.
I don't think Hamza would ask for one. I think it would. I think he may find it difficult to hide the fact that he is in quite a lot of pain. But between the broken ribs, the dislocated shoulder, and the tiger attack. But,
okay, so at this point, yeah, Sidera will like, yeah, just take an M dose out of a bag and hold it up to Hamza and kind of like, you know, interested.
Can we spare it?
We have 3. We'll have 2 left after this. You need it.
Thank you.
Okay. Well then, give us, Mike, a Medicurgy roll. And I believe you get a bonus to it from the M-dose as well. 1, is that right?
Yeah, I get 1. So it's wits.
Okay.
So I get 7 in total. Oh, for God's sake, I rolled 5 5s.
So I can take a darkness point, I'm guessing.
You definitely should re-roll that, given it just cost a consumable.
Yeah, I've got to re-roll that, right? Wait, what? Who is it? Because I've already prayed once, right? So, like,
yeah, but it's only with prepared prayers that you. Like,
okay, yeah.
That you basically are kind of locked into that icon for a while, right?
Sure.
I'm right in saying that, right? Yeah, if you're prepared with formal prayer, you get modifiers on the rerolls. Formal prayer modifiers last a whole session, but are limited to a specific icon. So if you've carried out that form prayer, otherwise you can kind of hop between them. We're in double digits again, folks.
I didn't get anything. I'm sorry, guys. That's the second time I've re-rolled and failed both times.
I think it did something. I'm feeling better. Thank you.
That's delightful.
That's just the morphine rush.
One thing I'll point out is this armor which we salvaged, I think, Hamza, might serve you better than it served me. It's seen better days, but at least we got some use out of it this morning.
Would you be alive without the armor?
Almost certainly not, but if I were alive and everyone else were dead, it would be no much better to me. Plus, it barely fits me at the minute anyway.
It's up to you. Like, sure. On the one hand, that's very generous. On the other hand, it's because we all know what my job here is.
Yeah, you said it yourself. A long time ago, back on the station.
He's the guy with the chunky
my
power glove.
I will pass my light armor, which is a bonus of 4, over to Hamza.
Okay.
seen better days, chipped and crushed in places, and not looking great, but still functional.
Okay, yes, that's armor rating of 4, if that's transferred across. Yeah, so I'd say we're now at daybreak. That means that everyone can recover a health point, a hit point, and everyone can also recover a mind point. Are we setting off now on our journey to the east?
Are we heading to the watering hole first?
Yeah, I think that would be wise.
I think we should take the meat. We should take anything that may be around that we can build a lightweight shelter out of, because we don't know where we're going to be when it comes to sleeping time. And then I think, we should go to the watering hole and head east from there.
That sounds like a goal to me. And the only other thing I'd say, Hamza, am I correct in saying that you recovered your exoloader from the wreckage of the Shining Light?
I do have the exoloader, yes.
Well, then, if you want to keep it, I'd make the journey in the exoloader, which is fine. It has batteries that are... It's got this isn't written in the thing, but for the purposes of what we're doing, so I don't have to add another mechanic in. Let's say it's got a rudimentary solar power generator on it, and you can just keep going, you know?
I don't recall seeing rules about power
exactly,
usage.
Exactly. So, like...
It's a tool, essentially. It's just one that you kind of wear.
Sure. It means, obviously, you're going to make a bit more noise as you're traversing across the savannah with this kind of... Like, it's not the impression I get from the exoloaders. They're not, it's not like the power loader in Aliens or anything. It's more like an exoskeletal frame sort of thing. So like a hydraulic, like it wouldn't make you that much bigger, but slightly bulkier, and just adds strength and utility to what you're doing. Yeah. So yeah, you can divert yourselves over to the watering hole. You can fill up all your water rations, and take. I'm fine with you like setting a little fire and boiling some water at the watering hole as well, and let's just take water for the. So you've completed your water rations for the day, and I believe you have storage for. You can each take a water ration with you as well, or 3 of you can, and Adam doesn't need to. Okay, well then. You're setting off to the east. Let's make some rolls for how well we make our way onwards. So, is there such a thing? Because we've been doing them all the time in other games at the moment. I don't think there's such a thing as a group roll in Coriolis. Am I right in that?
I think so.
I think if you... Yeah, I think the closest thing that I've seen is like leadership, which is that's a specific thing, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So let's instead, what skill do we think? I mean, I'm asking because I think I know the answer. What skill do we think would be the one that we would roll for how good progress we would make in our walk? I mean, I'm struggling to say anything but survival. I think so, right? Yeah. So let's find out who's got the highest pool of survival.
I've got 6.
I have 5.
4 and 3. It's Sadira then, isn't it? So why don't you give us a survival roll, Sadira, and take who else has survival? Like actually has the skill.
I do.
Luria, do you have it? No. So take an extra die for Adam's assistance as well, I think.
2 successes.
Okay.
Nice.
I think that's pretty good. So let's say you've made... you think if you're... I'm assuming here, but let me know if I'm wrong, that you're walking at quite a modest pace. Kind of an easy pace for a group of still quite injured people trying to traverse. It's a landscape that's not that difficult. The heat is it's not hugely hot, but it is getting to you a little bit as you walk. But for the distance that is, I would say that traversing an unfamiliar landscape while quite injured at a normal pace, we're looking at if you're trying to, not exert yourself, we're looking at probably maybe even just 1 kilometer an hour if you're being cautious. Do we think that's reasonable?
I could definitely see us like stopping quite a lot for resting. Like I've got broken toes. Like I'm not going to be able to move that fast.
Absolutely. So we'll go with a roll of these, and each of these rolls will represent a 3-hour stretch. Okay, and because you rolled an extra success there, I'm going to say that you've traveled 4 kilometers now, and can one of you keep a hold of that number and keep it updated, whichever of you wants to be your cartographer or whatever we want to call it. Can someone note down 4, please? And probably that person, if they can identify themselves as well. Otherwise, I don't know how to talk to Chris. Thank you, Chris. You've made about 4 kilometers distance, which you feel is probably pretty good for 3 hours of walking in your current condition. In addition to that, would anyone say that they're trying to keep their eye out for anything, or is everyone very focused on their progress?
I would very much be trying to see if I can spot any abnormalities in the the near field.
Is anyone else sort of having a look as well?
I think I'd be looking for crashed spaceships.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
sorry. Yeah, I think part of the plan as we sort of formulated it was if we work on the assumption that there may be lots of crashed spaceships, we may even want to sort of zigzag across the landscape.
Sure.
To each one. I would be arguing for sending the drone up.
Maybe after we've reached this fourth kilometer, we can maybe take a stop and do a...
Sure. Well, it makes sense for Mike to make that roll if we're employing the drone. But why don't we... So why don't you give us that observation roll with the extra dice for the drone, please, Mike? And if anyone is watching over Sadira's shoulder who has observation as a skill, yep. Adam, Hamza, I think we've done this before, and you two don't. So you can take an extra die for.
I do have
one.
Help. They have one observation.
So is that 1 extra dice for Levere and 1 extra dice for Adam? Did I get that right?
Yes. Yeah. If Adam has observation, yeah. Plus, obviously, the extra dice for the probe.
That's 3 6s.
Ooh.
Good job, team.
Good job,
nice. So I'm going to drop a couple of things on you here. So number 1, it's not in the immediate area that you're scouting, but you spot it on the drone nevertheless. Ahead of you, between you and this stepped pyramid on the horizon, you can see quite a familiar shimmering on the ground. But you couldn't, guarantee it, but it looks like there is another body of water of some kind between you and the pyramid. The second thing is that you see some, and they're not far from where you've come to a stop at all. You can see, for a start, a small kind of cluster of relatively short trees, but it's definitely providing enough shade that you can go and take a little rest if you would like. And near these trees seem to be some dark objects on the ground of some kind. They don't look natural.
Okay. Well, I'll relay all of that to the group after having seen it on my little tablet thing. And okay, this is looking more promising. We've got maybe some water up ahead. We've got somewhere we can rest here if we want to. And maybe some more spaceships to investigate as well.
This all sounds like a plan.
Sorry, the objects on the ground definitely aren't spaceships. They're way too small for that.
Okay.
They're just objects on the ground.
Okay.
Sounds like we have a plan for the rest of today then.
I would very much like a nap.
Shall we set up a temporary camp in that coppice of trees? And maybe try and I suppose we have enough water from our last trip to not need anything else today. I suppose we can go and take a look and see what those objects were.
I am keeping track of how far through the daylight you are, so don't worry about that. So yeah, you can go. You make your way. It's not very far to this small clump of short trees. There's plenty of shade underneath it. They provide quite a nice natural shelter. Nearby, a very short walk away. It's not even a walk. It's 20 feet away. Slightly overgrown in the grass of the savannah are what appear to be 2 small cargo containers. Well, you know what? 2 small intact cargo containers and a scattering of others that are completely broken and wrecked and empty. But they're kind of like, I suppose very flat boxes, sort of the same size as the cryo coffins. But they're definitely made for cargo. They've got kind of like import or export kind of stamps on the side of them. And 2 of the containers look to be unbroken.
Ooh. Let me see if I can jerry one of these open. Hamza, do you want to give me a hand? Unless you're already napping.
Yeah, I can open one.
Let's work together and see what we can get done.
Absolutely. So these are actually a bit too small for the exo loader to help you with, but certainly you could use your. I think you covered your tools, right?
I do have a set of tools. Yes.
Yeah. If they have like a gear bonus on them, you can definitely use them to help unlock these cargo containers.
Also, I thought you had technology up the wazoo as well, didn't you?
I do. I have some technology.
It is a technology roll. So if the 2 of you want to make technology rolls. Then go ahead. And yeah, you can get whatever gear bonus your tools give you from.
I don't think they give a bonus. I think they're like the doses for metacurgy. They're a prerequisite for being able to repair things.
You know what though? This is quite a simple procedure, and I feel having these really helps. So take an extra die.
Cool. 2 successes.
3 successes. This night has turned around.
Okay. I mean, I can't think of any extras you could have for opening. Yeah, you flip these open super fast. It's really impressive.
Excellent box openers.
And inside, why don't we do a die roll? Okay. So, firstly, yours, Luria, which you open very fast and are kind of delighted that the top literally springs open in front of you and reveals, to your likely not delight, a large amount of fashionable but near useless footwear.
Oh.
They are the Coriolis equivalent of... they're just fancy sneakers.
These are both delightful and useless. Would anyone like a lovely new pair of these?
Not if we have to carry them, which I think we're going to.
On the other hand, Hamza's cargo container has sprung open to reveal a set of what appear to be fully functional planet-wide communicator devices.
Ooh.
They are they're basically a backpack. They're that size, and you wear them, and there's 5 of them in there. And a quick tinker with them, their batteries are full. They appear to be fully functional.
Okay, well, procedure states I should call in a mayday. Unless anyone objects.
That was my first thought too. My second thought was, if there's somebody on this planet to hear that there are survivors, do we want them to know?
That is a good point. I wonder, Matt, can I maybe get like a transponder ping can I get like a passive transponder sweep of the area to see if there's anything there, or is that something beyond the realms of? Would that be more shit?
It would be ship-based. That's a bit too complex for them. By turning on and sweeping, you can see if there are any signals in the nearby area, because it will try and hone in on particular frequencies and stuff like that. But it would, if anyone was doing the same thing, your communicator would also show up on that. But it's up to you. If do you think there's someone Here's something that occurs to you. I'll give you this one as a freebie. If there was someone in the area intentionally luring ships down to prey on survivors, wouldn't you have seen them by now?
And wouldn't they have taken some of the stuff that's been scattered around?
Yeah,
here?
like no one, your ship impacting the ground made a hell of a noise and caused a hell of a visual display for a good day or so.
Actually going to take that in character. Hamza, if this was a designed plot, then how come so much of the equipment has been left unsalvaged, and how come it seems we have been the only survivors? Oh, you're on mute.
I said I don't know. It depends on their motivation. Maybe they're not interested in cargo. Maybe they're not here at all. I don't know. We've just seen 3 ships come down.
It is entirely uncanny. Perhaps, though, less uncanny is that we are the first survivors. What do you think, Adam, Sadira?
I mean,
I'm okay to stay clandestine. There's a certain romance to it, but maybe for survival.
It's going to come down to a choice between putting a call out and maybe alerting people who mean us harm versus not putting a call out and maybe tomorrow, maybe in 10 years, dying on this planet.
we think this system has people in it, don't we?
I guarantee you there's people in Awadi.
Yeah, there has to be someone here.
Wouldn't we think that even if there's someone is doing this, surely there's somebody on the planet who would be normal and helpful to us?
That's true. That is true. However, anyone with the technology to corrupt calculations in a jump computer and bring us to our doom here probably also has the technology to jam communications. I'm arguing against myself. This is very productive, Lavir. Good job.
We've got the communicators. We don't have to use them yet. For now, we're surviving. We've had food. We've got water. Like, we can make our way to this pyramid, and we can see what's there. And if we get there and we decide that we want to attract some attention, hey, there's a landmark. People might be able to find us a little bit more easily when we call in for help. So
I agree. I agree with the romance of this path, and I will conveniently forget that I am required to phone in a Mayday for the moment. Very stressful few days, of course.
So anyone who would like to take a planet-wide communicator can put it into their equipment.
Are they heavy?
I think they probably are quite heavy. Yeah.
Could I potentially swap? Could I sell if we're not? Because are we all taking one? Because if there's one spare, maybe I could swap the power pack into the drone.
If it's heavy, I probably wouldn't take it. If we already are taking 2 of them or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm the same. I don't want to all take one. Well, Sidera doesn't want to take one if she doesn't have to.
Yeah, Hamza will happily take one. Like
it is a heavy item. It is a heavy item. Yeah.
Okay.
You can carry one heavy item. Is that how that works?
Potentially. I am terrible at at encumbrance rules. They are my absolute blind spot because I kind of don't care. But at the same time, like it is something that kind of should be paid attention to.
I presume that anybody carrying one can't pick up another heavy thing.
Yeah, I think that's probably how it works. If John can find out how heavy items work, that'd be good. It's not urgent to know which of you have taken one, right? Unless we're about to use them. So we know that at least one person has because Lavia has. So let's go.
How about my proposal to increase the juice on the drone, maybe replenish its charge a little bit by jerrying the other 2?
You probably wouldn't be able to like just increase the juice, but there's a possibility that when the probe runs out of juice, I'll let you make some kind of technology roll to see if you can swap the batteries over.
Okay, and are the batteries super heavy? Can I take them as maybe a small item from one of the packs we're not bringing with us?
That's a good question. Go on, I'll let you make a technology roll, and if you make it, then you can take another load of cells.
Okay. Gentlemen, unless there's any objections, I'm going to try and salvage the power packs from the communicators we're not going to be taking with us. And sorry, gentlemen and lady, my apologies. Goodness. I'll take that as a no.
I'm going to sleep now.
Smart idea.
Technology and wits, so that's 7 rolly. 1 success.
Yeah, you can take one load of cells. You managed to salvage one load of cells. John has chipped in. So heavy objects take up 2 rows on your gear list, of which you have 10 rows. So anyone can take one they want. And I believe we said so. We are resting now. How long are we resting for? Are we taking 8 hours? Sleep.
A good conversation to have, I suppose. Yeah, I think
We didn't sleep that much last night.
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hamza is not volunteering to be on watch.
That's fine. So if we have a rest of 8 hours, up to 8 hit points and mind points can be recovered. So I'm assuming everyone's just back up to full flush.
I would also like to renew my formal prayers to the gambler for my wits reroll bonus.
Absolutely. You do realize, of course, that means you can only roll according to the gambler for the rest of this session.
I thought the stipulation was okay. Maybe we'll just take a look at the rules on that. I thought it was I get a bonus of 1 dice when I make a reroll for a darkness point after doing a formal prayer.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It's confusing. You gain the extra die modifier when you pray to the gambler. Formal prayer modifiers last a whole session, but are limited to a specific icon. Yeah, okay. So, yeah, you can re-roll any, but you only get that modifier according to the specific icon. Okay, yeah, sure. So, I'm going to add an extra hour on for the salvaging the containers and the prayers. And that means you are approximately 13 hours through the day. You will go into blue light in 8 hours. So I take it we're setting off on another 3-hour eastward trip. Okay, give me another one of those survival rolls again, please, Mike. You're on mute, by the way.
Was there any bonuses to this one? Did we decide?
You get a single bonus from Adam's.
That's right.
Survival skill.
It's wits. So 7 in total. And the grand total is none.
Oh.
Okay. That's fine. You still make progress. It's just you don't make as much progress as you had done before. Can you add 3 to the? No, actually, what would that be? No, it's a lower success. So add 2 to the amount, please, Chris. So that is 6 kilometers of progress. You would estimate that you are halfway to the pyramid. So obviously you've been moving a lot slower now, perhaps still slightly drowsy from your rest. Are you going to make another kind of observation roll to scout your surroundings, or are you going to head straight into carrying on walking?
I think we'll just see what's around, right?
I think we send the drone up.
At this point, we could, if there's water nearby, we could drink today's worth of water and refill and so on and so forth. So
sure.
Yeah.
Well, why don't you give me another one of those observation rolls, then, please? So this is an observation roll with the extra from your drone, and with the extra 2 dice from Weir and Adam.
1.
1. Well then, that's enough to spot something nearby. A little way off your path, you see what looks like a small sort of, I don't know, it looks maybe like a tent or something, just to the south of the direction you're walking.
That's of concern, is it not?
Is there any smoke or anything like that coming from?
No.
Who wants to?
It's someone out here that's either a survivor or help or something else.
Could be
An
an old
opportunist,
tent
perhaps.
from an old survivor.
We're not going to walk past it, are we?
Don't think so. But perhaps it might be a good idea if maybe one of our rifle-carrying compatriots would hang back and maybe be in reserve.
Okay, well, how about this? Maybe, Adam, you sneak up, get a bit closer, see what you can see, and we'll cover you with a rifle.
I think we should
And
maybe just
investigate it.
walk in, but maybe have someone back with some firepower in the events that it turns nasty. We should assume the best, of course.
I think we should assume the worst. Then we're covered either way. I'm happy to try and get a better look, but also perhaps we just I don't know. Was the tent that big? I think
It does not look big.
with 2 of us having rifles and 4 of us in total, if we just approach with caution, weapons ready, we should be able to handle whatever's there, shouldn't we?
Caution but confidence, that is indeed the way of the traveller.
Matt, is it just a tent, or is there a sign of like camp activity as well?
You couldn't see really any more details, certainly not with 1 success.
Well, my curiosity is at an all-time high. I think we should go.
Yep, I'm happy to.
That is an absolutely amazing shot for Mike to have frozen on there, which is wonderful. Yeah, is that the plan then? Just kind of cautiously approaching with weapons out?
Okay.
If there is someone here with the ability to bring down spaceships, I very much doubt that they live in a tent.
That is true.
Yep.
Sure.
That's not the only danger that could exist.
Maybe
Sure,
This is
but
true.
it does feel like we've made a decision. So shall we execute it? So yeah, you all cautiously make your way forward. When the campsite or whatever it was is within kind of visual range, it becomes very apparent very quickly that certainly no one is living here anymore. It is a tumble down metal plating lean-to. And you can see that there is what looks like a mostly decayed, partially mummified set of legs sticking out of the end of it. Also next to it, as you make your way closer, as I'm assuming you're not holding yourself back, because clearly the person who made this is dead. There is next to it what appears to be a small pit in the ground, a blackened pit full of charcoal and blackened, slightly hacked up human bones.
I suppose
This looks like an unfinished funeral.
or an unfinished meal.
It looks like a finished meal,
Either way,
but one that evidently did not do the job.
I'll say it again. This looks like an unfinished funeral. Perhaps we should finish it.
that is I forget myself. Thank you.
I assume we are carrying out some ceremony and prayers.
Levere, you always have some good words to say.
Yes, well, it seems that our luck overfloweth, and not everyone who survived this trap has been so lucky. So may the faithless one guide this poor creature back to the next phase in his cycle.
Okay, perhaps you you use whatever means you have to set a fire to the whatever remains. There's probably some clothing left on the individual under the lean-to. And are we trying to rest here, or are we just making our way forwards? There is no easily identifiable shelter nearby. This lean-to is terrible and is only suitable for one person anyway. So unless you want to set up some shelter, I mean, you've been traveling for 3 hours, so it's up to you whether you want to just carry on.
I would have a quick look around and see if there was any stuff there, any equipment or.
There's absolutely nothing.
Cool.
Actually, you know what? No, there's a knife.
I think we should carry on.
Yeah.
I don't want to stay here longer than we need to.
Okay. Can we get another survival roll, please, Mike?
The results are in. Four sixes.
4 sixes.
What?
Oh my! Okay. Clearly, revitalized by the excitement of finding an appalling cannibalistic horror site. You've clearly got your strength back after resting, and the drowsiness of the day is off you, and you managed to travel. Well, I was averaging that at 3, and that's, you know what? We're there. So as you get closer, obviously the pyramid is coming closer and closer to you. You can see as you start to finalize your approach to it, you'd say it's probably about 120 feet high, which is fairly significant in its size. It is made up of dark blocks of stone that are all very cracked and covered with vegetation. About 2/3 of the way up is some kind of dark entranceway to the interior, and about let's say 50 feet in front of it, between you and it, is quite broad, marshy river. Which seems to be flowing north to south. It is not kind of an ankle deep wade, but it looks to be definitely crossable without the means of a raft or a boat of some kind. The current looks like it will go maybe up to kind of just above your knees or so, but it's not very fast flowing.
I think now would be a perfect time to send our friend aloft.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, take out the recon drone.
Take a run. I assume you're knocking off charges for each of these.
I am
viewings.
Yeah, I think I've still got plenty left. I do have it written down somewhere. Hey, am I back?
Yeah,
you're back.
Okay. Sorry. Rolling for the drone. No successes.
Okay. You don't really see anything kind of untoward, or you don't see anything apart from there's a huge step pyramid directly ahead of you, and there's this slow, marshy, shallow river between you and it.
Well, we're here now. Do we continue, or do we try and take a rest? Maybe do this under the full light of the next day.
You have. Let's see. 4 hours of full daylight left before it even turns to just the blue sun.
Having come all this way, it seems slightly risky to rest right in the pyramid's shadow.
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather see what's here before we let our guard down at all.
What's the I'm just trying to work out the trigonometry of it all. What's the kind of footprint of this pyramid? If you wanted to do it in sort of average walking time, like if we wanted to try to do a circle of it, how long do we think that would take?
Probably not that long. Maybe 10 minutes or so.
Okay. I think we should walk around it. I think we should see what's here. I think we'll see.
I agree.
Yeah. What's a little more walking after so many hours walking?
So, you cross the river successfully. You know, it's in fact probably quite refreshing to get some cool water, and it's quite very clear water as well. You know, there's no sense of like horrible rocks underfoot or horrible aquatic wildlife. And you wade your way across. Obviously, one of you making a great deal more splashing than the others as the exo loader makes its way across the river, leaving great tramped circles in the stones and mud underneath as it passes. And as you move up to the step pyramid and start to make your way around, one thing becomes very apparent very quickly, which is as you round one side of the pyramid and see behind it, you see what looks like a fairly large clump of trees kind of behind the pyramid, and in amongst them you can see the large metallic form of yet another crashed starship. This one, however, seems to be in a great deal more good repair than the others you've seen. It doesn't seem to have broken apart on entry, but it does look, being as there's vegetation growing over it, like it has been there for quite some time. If you are stopping at that, let me know. Otherwise, I'll tell you what the full circle around the pyramid might reveal.
I think we should stop.
Should we do a full lap and come back to that, though? Does it matter? It's a 120-foot pyramid. It won't take us that long to circumnavigate it.
It really won't. And you know what? To actually go to it, you'll have to look around the other side of the pyramid. This is the only thing of note in the environs that does not require a roll. However, if everyone wants to give me an observation roll.
I got one.
Anyone who gets a success on that can note that there seem to be the remains of other structures nearby, but structures that have long ago tumbled to the ground. Kind of large pieces of rock and stone laid out in sort of, rough rectangles and squares and the like, that seem to indicate that there used to be more structures of some kind, much smaller structures nearby, but they've all fallen apart with the passage of time.
Seems like this is all that's left of whatever used to live here.
I would, I suppose, like to check to see how far along these people were. Are they stone constructions, or can we find plastics or metals? What is the history of this place? I wish I knew. How far is there any of these structures that are remarkable, Matt, with regards to like how close is the closest one? Is it 5 minutes walk? Is it an hour?
Oh, from the pyramid itself, 20 feet away.
I want to go in and do a little investigation, so I'll even peel away from the group and poke around.
Absolutely, but you're very limited. Like the grass has mostly grown over it. It's basically just rubble on the ground, and roughly you can tell where the walls were. But you're no archaeologist. But you know what? Being as you're going and there and doing it, you've got culture, right?
I do, actually.
Why don't you give me a culture roll?
Nice. Yeah, so that's culture, which is empathy +1, so that is 5 dice in total. I got a success.
Nice.
You feel like the amount of time that must have passed for these structures, these rock and stone structures, to collapse like this, the incredibly rudimentary nature of their construction. You can find no metals, no plastics. The stones seem to have been kind of like maybe cemented with some degree next to each other, but not with any kind of like advanced technology whatsoever. It leaves a sense of confusion in you, Luir, and perhaps even a slight sense of existential uncertainty, because you're no archaeologist, but this site seems older and more rudimentary, certainly, than to have been anything the Zenithians could have constructed here. But more than that, anything the first comers could have constructed here. And therefore, you're left with only one conclusion, that this site may have been here before humans were. And I think we'll wrap up the session there, friends. Thank you so much for watching and participating and stream managing in this. The various of you. If you've got any questions or comments, please pop them in the chat for John to flick up on screen for us. In the meantime, promo, there's links down below. YouTube and Twitch. You're watching on one, why not check out the other? Our YouTube has hordes and hordes and hordes of VODs over there. We have a Discord you can check out and join, talk to us about all things role-playing. We have social media. We have Patreon if you'd like to support us in exchange for rewards. We run 3 weekly streaming series, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Each one starts at 8:00 p.m. BST. Mondays is Call of Cthulhu, Tuesdays is Blades in the Dark, and Wednesdays is this, Coriolis. Although we will be hopping back to Symbaroum before you know it. We also run monthly one-shots on the first Saturday of every month. The next one of those is, of course, coming up this Saturday, and that will be Honey Heist, run by Johnny. It's a great little one-page RPG, whimsical, hilarious thing about bears carrying out heist for honey at HoneyCon. Yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun. Join us for that this Saturday at 3:00 p.m. BST. We also run a fortnightly show on Sundays over on the Free League Twitch channel, but that is currently on slight hiatus as some of our players are having stuff happen. But we will be back on with that on Sunday, the 18th of July, in case you're a watcher of that and wonder where it's going. That is when it'll be back. Yeah. That's it. We had a follower today. Thank you, Clarky23. Thank you so much. Yeah. There's going to be space leeches. I was, when I was putting this together, I was mildly like, shall I put some horrific aquatic wildlife in there? And I thought, they've had enough.
We have absolutely had enough.
Battered them around enough. Yeah, John makes the point, of course, if it's a long fight, critical injuries usually provide enough of a debuff to be useful, or at least to infuriate the GM. Yeah, sure. Yeah, wow. For a year 0 system, the Coriolis combat takes a long while. Because I've played Mutant Year 0, Tales from the Loop, and I've read through Alien. Coriolis combat takes a lot longer than any of them, I'll say that. It was like about an hour, I think, for that fight. Fearsome stuff.
And that was just like one enemy as well. Like, it wasn't like a group of enemies.
Yeah, absolutely. That's longer than Symbaroum, I think. But then, it was our first go of it, wasn't it? So
also, I don't think this system is going to have the loop situation that Symbaroum has, where you can end up just doing the same action, like 40 times in a row until someone finally makes an unlikely defense roll.
Yeah, there's a bit more variation because there's the different options of like different scales of action, right? So that does provide something. Cool. All right. Well, if there's nothing else in chat, spend some darkness points, you coward. Thanks, Mike. Well, I did.
You did.
And look what happened.
And we hated it.
Rifle briefly broke. So. The bear in Mutant Year 0 went down really quickly. Oh, well, if we end up... those are horrible spoilers if we end up broadcasting that on the channel. So thanks for that, Steve and John. Yeah, never mind. Thanks anyway, folks, for thanks for watching, and thanks for playing and stream managing and everything. And we will see you next week for more Coriolis. Thanks, folks. Goodbye.